Well, hi there. I'm Tommy Marz. You're watching my most requested live Ask Anything Chat. My new song featuring Caitlin Evanson and Electra Point is called Humankind. I want to thank iHeartRadio and Romeo for having me on the show tonight. All right, so it looks like I got some questions for you guys. And I have looked at a few, but I actually haven't looked at all of them. So I think we're going to be in for whatever surprises we're in for together. All right, let's get started. The very first one is from Sarah, and she's in Los Angeles. And the question is, where are you from, and do you get back home often? Well, Sarah, I am home now. I'm from Detroit. I was born and raised in Detroit, West Side, and I lived here almost all my life. I had a spell of a couple different areas in Atlanta and stuff, but I call Michigan home. I'm not sure if I always will, but for right now, that's where it is, and I am here. Thank you for the question. Greg from New York City. Hi, Tommy. Hi, Greg. Who would you like most to collaborate with in the future? Oof. That's a good question. I think that I'd have to break this down in three different ways. First would be like production-wise, and then it would be songwriting-wise, and then collaborating with as an artist. So I guess production-wise, I feel like I got one of the best producers in the world, Electro Point. He's amazing. If you guys listen to 15 or Humankind, you can hear it's just pro production behind it. He is the man when it comes to film scores on so many, every movie thing, network you can think of, he does them. If you've heard it, if you watch, probably you've seen one of the movies he scored, you know his work. But if I had the chance to work with another producer, I would say that would be Ricky Reed. I'm a huge fan of Ricky. I'm a huge fan of everything he does, musically, production-wise. Ricky does some of the best pop stuff out there. I mean, he's worked with Bruno Mars, Lizzo, Leon Bridges. But I think if I got a chance to work with Ricky, I would want to cut a rock album with him, because I feel like we'd make the best rock album together. So that's who I'd work with production-wise. Songwriting-wise, I don't think you can mention songwriting and not talk about Taylor Swift, but I feel like that's not happening. But I mean, just because she's so busy and everything, and out of our league. But not that the next person's in my league, but Ryan Tedder probably be somebody I would really love to write a song with. I just think he knows how to craft songs, maybe as good as anybody out there doing it today. And artist-wise, there's so many people I'd love to collaborate with. I'd love to collaborate with RM from BTS. I'd love him to throw a line or two or something on a song, of course. You know what? I'm not even going to say Harry Styles, I want to do a song with him. You know what I'd love to do? I'd love to be able to play drums on a Harry Styles song. That's who I'd like to collaborate with. All right, let's go to the next one. So Chelsea from Shoreline, Washington State. Were you afraid of failure when you first started your career? If so, how did you handle that fear? I don't think I knew any better, to be honest with you. I don't think I thought of it that way, of whether I'm going to be a success or fail. I think I just started writing songs, and then you start playing shows, and hopefully you start building a fan base, which I was able to pretty early on in the rock music scene, and you just hope that it resonates, it gets out there, people want to listen, people want you to put out new music, they want to come see you play. And I'll just tell you, I got my first recording contract pretty early at age 19. So I was 19 years old, I got it early on, and I don't know. I guess I probably think about failure more now than I did then. So I don't know if that's a good answer, but that's. Oh, if so, how did you handle it? For today, I can speak for today. I think I move on to the next song. I just think I use it as inspiration or motivation, like a fire or a passion to write more music. So I think that's how I handle it personally. Here we got Elaine from AskAnythingChat. Am I saying that right? New York. Can you rank your favorite style pizzas? So Elaine has written down Detroit, New York, and Chicago. I feel bad saying Detroit's not my first. It's actually not my preference. New York style, the really thin, crispy on the bottom, is my favorite. In fact, actually, I was in St. Louis one time, and there was this little pizza place, and I thought it was going to be Chicago style, which is my least favorite, but it was New York style. And it was like, I think it was the best pizza I ever had. I think it was the best New York style pizza I ever had. Does that make sense? It was so good. That was in the Lou. I would say New York, then Detroit. It's like Detroit feels like it's a hybrid between New York and Chicago is dead last. I mean, we had a place here, a pizza place that was doing Chicago style pizza. For my money, it's just all dough. I like cheese. You know what I'm saying? It's so doughy. So it's like this thick, right? You get this thick. They bring it to your table. It takes like 4.5 hours to make. But you slice into it, and it's all dough. It's all bread. So that's very much last on my list. Thanks for the question, though. All right, Nikki from Toronto. How did you get into the music business? Was it difficult? Let's take the second part first. Yes. I don't know. I think you just grind, man. I think you just do what you do, believe in what you do. No, actually, the most important part is perfect your craft. Don't write a song and say, this is the best thing ever. And if it gets rejected and it doesn't happen or whatever, you curl up in a ball. And it's okay if you do. But what I mean is, don't say that's the end all, or don't make excuses like they just didn't like me. Maybe they didn't like you, but you got to keep firing away. You got to keep trying. And so I guess that would answer the first part. How did I get in the music business? I kept writing songs. I kept writing music. Right now I'm doing pop music. I'm doing pop dance music in a way, alt pop, whatever you want to call it. And I'm having more success than I've ever had, charting songs, stuff like that. And I think it's just because I kept trying, kept perfecting my craft, listening to tremendous songwriters, like I mentioned, Taylor Swift, Ryan Tedder. I listen to people, how they craft songs, and try to challenge my brain to write maybe in a different way that I was writing before. So I would say just keep on keeping on. That's what I would say. Hopefully that answers the question. Thank you, Nikki, for the question. Dakota from Nashville, Tennessee. In your high school yearbook, you were most likely to... Okay, blank space. I would say probably most likely to be a rock star, because I was just always in it. Like I just played drums and was learning guitar, and was like I just always wanted to be a rock star or something. I mean, I haven't gotten there yet, but I always want to be. I think maybe if it was something else, it would be either the best. It might be the best Street Fighter 2 player in the world. I love that. I still love that game. Or most likely to have the loudest car stereo. Definitely. And I did. All right. So the next one is Jen from Chantilly Lace, Virginia. Do you know that reference? Did you get that one? What movie makes you laugh the hardest? Oh boy. I mean, one scene, or are we talking about like the whole thing? If it's one scene, first thing that popped in my head was National Lampoon's Vacation, when Clark drives they're in the Grand Canyon area, or Arizona actually, and he drives off the road that ends, and the front end of the car goes like the whole way in the dirt. That's probably my most laugh out loud moment to this day. I still watch it and I laugh my butt off the whole time. Whole movie, favorite comedies. Oof, I mean, I love Fletch, but Spaceballs, something like that. I just laughed the whole time. I guess maybe Tommy Boy. I know I'm forgetting some. I'm going to get done with this. I'm going to say, I should have said such and such. But I do like that kind of humor. I like that kind of, I don't know if it's slapstick, but I like that. I like Chevy Chase type comedy. Tommy Boy reminds me of that. David Spade. I love that kind of dry humor stuff. So probably something like that. You are having your favorite, still Jen, you are having your favorite meal item. What is your perfect bite? Oh boy. It used to be before whatever. Actually, I can't have beef anymore, which is really weird. Would be that first bite of a filet mignon, like just perfectly crusted on the outside. I'm gonna drool right now with like some zip sauce on it. That would be my perfect bite. Nowadays, I would say it is fresh cauliflower or a New York style pizza. That's a callback. You can be cast to join any TV show, past or present. Which one do you choose? Oh, I watch a lot of Friends. But I don't know, maybe the 18th. Nah, maybe Friends. Actually, I don't know. Damn, I should have read these questions before I did this, right? I could have thought about that. See, homework. It's not my favorite thing. Okay, I'm gonna make a decision. Oh man, I'd love to have been on The Wire though. No, Entourage. That's it. Vinny Chase's brother, half brother. Oh, he already has a half brother. It works. Entourage. Timmy Chase. Recently, I watched your Storytellers live stream concert and was blown away. Thank you very much. I was blown away that how many of you watched that, so thank you very much. Me too. There was just something different about hearing an artist live versus recorded. Agree. While both are wonderful, I feel after a live performance, I feel connected to the artist and inspired by the music. We are on the same street. It's a true energy boost. Was there any one band that you have seen live that has inspired you now or as a teenager? Oh boy. I would say when I was younger, Duran for sure. But you know what though? Actually, you know what I'm going to say? So where I grew up in Detroit, they had this main drag thing. It was like the main street. And they used to do for like 3 years straight. But people kept getting into fights and shooting each other. It's crazy. But they had this festival every summer. It was just some of the best times in my life, that festival. And they would have bands play. Sometimes they'd be playing on top of bar roofs and stuff. And sometimes they'd have on the street. They just had bands. And there was a band, and I remember their name. So I was really young. And there was a band called Rook, like in the chess set. And their logo was a rook, of course. And they were playing covers, these rock covers and stuff. And I remember they played a song called Round and Round by Rat. And I was walking by and I was like, oh my gosh, this band's playing Round and Round. And then they played Cult of Personality, Living Color. And I was just sitting there. I became like the biggest fan, And so I'm just a little squirt, So the band gets done and I'm waiting for them because, man, I got to meet the band. I want to meet the drummer and the guitar player and stuff. And I met them all. I was a little kid and they were just humoring me. But they actually seemed really into it. And I was just so excited. And I got their autographs and stuff. And I was like, yeah, man. Like, it's like the moment. You ever have the moment when you're a kid and you say, okay, I know what I'm going to do when I grow up. I wanted to be a rock star. I always wanted to just be a rock star. And, yeah. So them. So when I was a kid, a teenager, it would be that band. Just a band playing covers on a street in a local festival. I'll never forget it. The way I felt that day, I will never forget. It's like getting your first electric guitar and you hit that chord for the first time with the amplifier on. You just never forget it. I remember the guitar and the amp I was playing when that happened. That's that. Thank you for the question. Jessica from Camden, New Jersey. Can you throw us a peace sign? Got you. Emmy from Fresno, California. Sleep with socks on or not? Not. What I was going to say was if I'm watching TV late at night, do I fall asleep on the couch? Then they're on. But if I go to bed, I take them off. It's a couple degrees cooler when you take off your socks. So I always run hot. So yes. Rebecca from Raleigh, North Carolina. Favorite riff of all time? Oh, brother. I mentioned Cult of Personality. That's one of them. I hate people that weenie out, but Becky, if I may. I'm going to give you 5. First 5 that were off my head. Go. Cult of Personality, Seek and Destroy Metallica. It's got to be Drop Dead Legs, Van Halen, Eddie Van Halen. It's got to be Back in Black, AC/DC. Is that 4 or 5? That might be 4. 5, I'll say, is Cherub Rock, Smashing Pumpkins. Yeah. Because there's a nice little skip there. It's actually I love. That's actually a great riff. No, that is maybe that's higher up. Jem from New York, Jemmy. Given your much needed and appreciated message in your latest single, Humankind, thank you. How do you feel social media has impacted the music industry and artists in particular? We don't have enough time on this here program, but I mean, if we're doing it in reference to the message behind Humankind, I would say it's negatively impacted our society and the way we think, artists and fans or whatever, everybody collectively included in that. I think it's skewed the way we think. So if somebody told me that, I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm the same person. But I think if somebody told me that and I sat down and really thought about it and say, yeah, I probably think differently now. And some of that's in a good way. So I don't want to make it total negative. Some of it, some of the stuff is eye-opening. The problem is there's so much misinformation out there that while it may be eye-opening, that's not always a good thing. If you say for artists, social media impacting them in general, I would say it's been a blessing. It's been one of the best things ever. You used to put posters on a telephone pole. I was going to say you go to record stores and sign records and meet people. So maybe that's more on the negative side because we don't do that as much. We do meet and greets, but mostly it's meet and greets, before and after shows and stuff. I'm talking about traveling, going to record stores before the concert that night at the Civic Center or something, Kiss at the Coliseum, you go to the radio station, go to the record store. But I think overall social media has been very good for musicians trying to get out there. I can pay testament to that. I mean, the way I've been able to get out through social media and these live stream shows and the streaming services that we have, to get 1 million streams on something, that's, if 700,000 people heard your song that you had no idea who they are. You don't know you never know who these people are, and they've listened to your music. I think that's a positive, right? I mean, that's got to be, Alexis from Gilroy, Sticks, California. Do you have pets? I do not. I had the best dog in the world, my little Sassy. Once I lost Sassy, man, I probably won't ever get another pet. It's just the end. I know how much joy they bring. I can tell you right now how much joy, having a dog like Sassy brought me, just to see that little face smile at you, be happy when you get home. Love you unequivocally, you know what I'm saying? But it's the end part. It's just so hard to bear. So I don't think I ever want to go through that again. But funny enough, I just posted a picture recently on Twitter of my neighbor's dog. Reminds me of Sassy so much, that little face. Ursula from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. When I hear Ursula, I always think of Phoebe, Friends. What would be your first question after waking up from being cryogenically frozen for 100 years? If I knew it was 100 years, I'd say, did we make it? What happened? Are we still humans? No, that would be it. Are we still humans, or are we artificial? Are we half robots? Are we mutated? It would actually be something like that, if I'm being truthful. Or I would say, what's number one on the Hot 100? Rachel from Berlin, Connecticut. When you wrote Humankind, was it music first, then lyrics, or vice versa? And is that your typical writing process? I think the most answer I always hear is it's a little bit of both, and I think it is a little bit of both, but I do have a journal. I write poems and lines of stuff I don't want to forget, but not really songs. So I would say for me, I work out the music. I like the music so I can kind of formulate a melody line, like a vocal melody line. So I would say music for me comes first in general, but I do have a book that if I'm stuck on something or if I need a fresh idea, I'll go and look up and say, I'll see a line in there. And sometimes they're not my lines. There's a great line that I want to kind of sort of use in the future, and it's they gave each other a smile with a future in it. I love that line. So sometimes when I need inspiration or I'm feeling a certain way, I actually go read that line and think about it and stuff. So thanks, Rach. Appreciate that. Lauren from Denver, Colorado. What are your plans for Thanksgiving and Christmas? Food. Yeah, I'll eat. Spend time with loved ones, hopefully. I try to use those holidays to really think about my life and the people that I know, and try to reflect on things and try to get re-inspired in life. So that's what I do. I mean, I don't mean it to be too deep, but it does happen upstairs. So there you go. What are your plans? Please let me know. Shania from Los Angeles, California. What smell drives you wild? Well, now I got it. You know what smell drives me wild? It's the smell of the first real warm day when winter's over and you smell the outside. You smell the springness. that's coming in the air. So it's almost, you smell the earth, you smell that. It's like I can't even describe what it is, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like it's this, you can almost smell the heat. That's a smell that I love almost the most. Isabella from Knoxville, Tennessee. Yes, it's got to be Tennessee with this question. Nice. What's your favorite Elvis song? Oh, man. So I'm a big Elvis fan. Walk through a party at the county jail. Probably Jailhouse Rock. I like Suspicious Minds. Kentucky Rain. I love them all. Jailhouse Rock is probably my favorite. I like that song a lot. I just like it. It's not like the best written song of all time or anything. I like it. It's just a good song. I'm gonna pick one. I was gonna say it was the first one I'd go pull up after this. I would say Jailhouse Rock, but actually I probably would go pull up Suspicious Minds. So I'll say that one. Ashley from Atlanta, Georgia. Hi, Tommy. Hi, Ashley. Are you going to be putting out an album or just singles for now? Love, Ashley. For right now, I'm putting out singles. The plan was actually to have an EP come out this year. I would like to say that I'm going to put out an LP late next year. I don't want to commit to anything. I don't know. Singles, I guess, for now. Love, Tommy. Also, okay, of all the Harry Styles songs, why did you cover From the Dining Table? Oh, that's a good question. I thought it'd be too... I think the obvious choice is to do Watermelon Sugar. I think if you're trying to get it out there, which is not a bad thing. For me, From the Dining Table is one of my favorite songs off of HS1. It just hits me in a different way than most of the other songs. I adore the song. And it's an acoustic song, if you don't know it. Well, I know you know it, but if you're watching, you don't know it. It's the last song on HS1, so you should give it a listen. It's a fantastic song. So it's acoustic, and I love his voice on it. And the thing for me was I love the way that it's mixed. So it's a little opposite than you normally do with an acoustic bass song. So normally you have acoustic guitar to the left, acoustic guitar to the right, and you shoot that vocal right down the center, and then your harmonies kind of split off on the spectrum as you're going along when you're mixing. This song is different because it's the acoustic guitar that's dead center, and the vocals are panned left and right, very far off. And they're not the same vocal track that was manipulated or mixed differently to make it give it space. They're two separate tracks that were recorded, and they are beautiful. They're amazing. So when I first sat down to do a cover of it, I played the guitar part and I changed it. I played two guitars and did it opposite. It just lost that magic to me. So then I was like, okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm not gonna cover this song and just put it on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. I'm going to make this song different. What I'm hearing in my head, and I kept hearing this doo-doo, doo-doo, which is almost like that Rage Against the Machine song, Bulls on Parade. But I heard it as an electro type beat. So I heard this kind of beat in my head, which is really from Return of the Mac, if you know that song. Return of the Mac. So I had that beat in my head. I kind of had the riff from Rage in my head. And I was like, I wonder if I could make this kind of an electro kind of bass funky type of song. I just started laying down stuff, laid down the drums, laid down the electric piano, and wound up removing 95% of the acoustic guitar. It's only in that little, what I would say, it's kind of the bridge to get you back to, well, it is the bridge to get you back to the final chorus outro. So sorry if that's a long answer, but yeah, that's why. Debbie from Albany, New York. Sup? What's the best piece of advice another musician ever gave you? Oh, brother. I've gotten so much great advice from musicians, producers, recording engineers. Oof. Oh man, there's so much. I've been so lucky. And there's days I just close my eyes and think about it and think how lucky I am to have the network of friends that I have in the music business. Okay, I will say I'm going to say Jeff. So Jeff Schroeder, guitar player for the Smashing Pumpkins, him and I did that song 15. So if you don't know, he played guitar on 15. I remember one day we were just kind of riffing back and forth, talking about stuff, and I was just questioning, my place in the music world and like what do I want to do next, and just having some, I don't know really what the word is, but having some thoughts. And he kind of said something, and it was like, you should just do what you do because you're, I don't know how he said it, but he said something like, you're doing what you want to do, and that's the influential thing. You're not trying to be anybody else. You're doing what you do, regardless of like genre or what's going to get you famous or whatever. He's like, you're doing it because this is what you truly believe in. And he said that, people notice that. And he kind of told me you should keep doing your path. It was something to that effect. And it was great advice because it totally made me suit up. That wasn't good. That wasn't good either. It totally made me suit up and was like, because, everybody questions himself. I think every single person does. And it made me think, okay, maybe I'll never break through and be super huge or sell 1 million records. But I go to sleep at night. I feel pretty good that I'm writing the songs at exactly where I'm at right now, I'm where I need to be. I'm writing the songs that I should write right now, and I feel great about it. So thank you, Debbie. That's a good question. And that is a thinker. Let's see. Tanya from Burlington, Ontario. If you could teleport anywhere this very second, where would you go? If I could teleport right now anywhere, I would probably go to Kyoto and have some rice and like some Napa cabbage and stuff, and probably get lost in the greenery in the mountains. That's probably where I would go. And if it wasn't that, I might try to go to like an amazing beachfront, somewhere maybe in the Caribbean, maybe like Portugal, maybe Spain or something, something warm, blue water, something like that. Yeah. Thank you, Tanya. Rachel from Middletown, Connecticut. You are banished to a deserted island. I can't read. But a nice one that has an audio system. Nice. You are told you can bring 5 songs. Are you doing this to me? This is what I do. All right. You are told you can bring 5 songs, and that is all you'll be allowed to listen to. Which ones would you choose and why? Oh boy. 5 songs. All right. We're going to stick to 5. 1. I've mentioned this guy way too much on this. Golden. 2, Lonely in Your Nightmare, Duran Duran. 3 would be Ricky Reed, Joan of Arc. 4, I need a metal song on there, dude. It would have to be like Satriani, Flying in a Blue Dream. I need a guitar song. Oh, no, Megadeth, Holy Wars. Shoot. No, Satriani, Flying in a Blue Dream. And then 5 would be The Police, When the World is Running Down. I was just actually thinking, though, Louis, Kill My Mind has got to be in there. And then I'd have to put Niall, Nice to Meet You. I love those songs. Maybe Taylor Red. Shoot. I'll just stick with what I have. That's a tough question. Maybe I should stop asking people that because that's tough. Yeah. Okay. So Morgan from Boston, Mass. What was the loudest show you've ever played? Loudest show? Oh, it'd be a festival show because then it's outside, so you're able to turn up. I mean, sometimes the stage manager's like, dude, and they put it in your monitors. So maybe that's not even true. The loudest show. I don't know, but I will say that the loudest I ever put my amp on stage is like 8. I put it on 8 once. So I would say that. I never put it on 10. I would never actually do that because I'm always afraid to blow like my amp or something. So, but I got it up to 8. And it kept like notching up throughout. And I finally got to 8. It sounded great. Thank you for the question, Morgan. All right, Beth. Crystal City, Mo. Is that by the Lou? Do you set aside a certain amount of time every day to write? Treat it like a job, comma, or do you only write when the mood strikes you? When the mood strikes me. I try not to force it. I try not to force anything. I don't want to ever be contrived. I don't want to just say, hey, I have to write right now. Now, does that mean if I'm on a deadline working on something that I don't sit down and say, dude, you got to write this song? Yes, I do have those situations, but I don't set aside and say, hey, from 3 to 4 I'm writing, because I just think it wouldn't be from that point of view where I like to write generally. So I would say when the mood strikes me, I will pull out my book, or I will my phone. I hum a lot into my phone, like a ton. I say lines, I say words, something I saw, that type of thing. So I don't know how many. I haven't looked in a while, but I know I had at one point, it was like 1,300 voice memos in my phone, which is no wonder. I have no space left on my phone. And it's like I got the big one on this last one, but it's still full. Nikki from Hartford, Connecticut. I'm listening to Humankind, and I think I might be picking up on at least one Easter egg for your fans. Am I onto something or completely wrong? You are correct, ma'am. Yeah, I put, if you're thinking Best of Me, you are right. That is one of my favorite songs I've ever written. It's a story song, and I love that one. And so I was writing it. I had a different line in there originally, but I was like, no, I'm going to try to do a thing. I wanted to put in Best of Me. And yeah, there's actually another one in there. But thanks for the question, Nick. M from Atlanta, Georgia. What was the most unlikely source of inspiration for a song? There's a song I wrote, and I never put it out into the world. It's one of my favorite songs. I wrote it a long time ago, and I to this day I think it's one of the best songs I ever wrote. And I think that at some point I got to put it out. It's a rock song. It's a freaking heavy, dark rock song. And it's probably the darkest song I ever wrote. And what it was inspired from, I was reading an issue of The New Yorker, and there was a writer, and he was HIV positive. He was dealing with AIDS, so he was on, basically death's door when he wrote this article. And this article was, and I still remember the name of it. It's called The Wild Darkness. And so I think I called the song Dark Side. I go through the things of changing names of songs, but I think I call it Dark Side. And I wrote it. That was the first time I ever wrote from somebody else's point of view. So those of you who know my rock career, Coffee, Cigarettes, and Judge Judy is written 100% from my dad's point of view as he was dying. So this was the first time I ever did, and this is years way before Judge Judy. And I think those are the only two songs I can think of from that point of view that I wrote. But this was from his point of view, and it was one of the best things I ever wrote. And it's just it's a wildly dark song. Maybe that's why I didn't put it out, but it's maybe I should at some point. Anyway, I hope that I remember how everything goes and all the lyrics to it, because I think I will. But that out of all the articles, that's the one that struck me the most. And to hear, and it wasn't an article. It didn't blame anybody. It wasn't a look for attention. It wasn't any of that. It was a straight up, the dark reality is what it was. And I read it and I was just so taken in by it. And yeah, so I would say that's the most unlikely source. I read an article in the New Yorker, and sad thing is I don't even know his name. I think maybe I could find it. I just told you guys the name of the article. Maybe I can find it or something. That was something else. Melissa from Casper, Wyoming. What influences your choice of stage outfits for a show? I like this question. I do. I actually do. I put thought into this. It probably doesn't look like it, but I feel like I go through periods of when I was playing shows a lot. Excuse me. That was attractive. I put a lot of thought into it. But I used to I feel like for a run of shows, I like to do like the white pants and a black shirt. And then some other shows, I like to have dark jeans and a white t-shirt. I like rocking the white t-shirt trucker hat thing. I always liked it. I just thought it was cool. I don't know if I pull it off, but I really enjoy wearing it. It makes me feel good. But that it wasn't always like that. I've wore some cool 70s shirts, button-up shirts, and I like to maybe have 3-4 buttons down, that kind of thing. Makes me feel sexy or something. But no, I've gone through periods where I wear like a cool shirt or I wear something else. I think it's funny. This is a good question. It's coming in because I was just thinking if I get the opportunity to tour anytime soon, play shows, I think I'm going to change it up and I'm going to start wearing something else than I have recently. So it's funny you asked that question. So influencing wise, I don't know if it's influencing. I think it's just what I feel, what I want to do. But when I go with something, I want to go with something for a while. So there you go. So that's it. That's the last question. We made it, guys. So sorry if this was way too long-winded, but that's who I am. I want to thank you for watching my Ask Anything Chat with Romeo. I want to thank iHeartRadio, Most Requested Live, for having me. It's been truly an honor and a privilege to be here. I hope I was able to ask your question. If I wasn't, I am so sorry if you submitted a question. Maybe in the future you can DM me on Twitter if you have a burning question. I'm happy to answer it for you. And my new song is Humankind. I appreciate everybody that's listened to it. I hope you got something out of the message. If you haven't listened to it, maybe go give it a spin. Maybe you'll like it. Maybe you'll feel something about human kindness, because I think we all need it. Anyway, I'll see you guys real soon. Stay golden.